In this section, we will look into what is DBMS and why do we go for or what is the purpose of DBMS, and then the comparison between file management system as well as the database management systems. So what is data? It is a raw fact. For example, let us say an integer 10 or a word or a RAM or any word. So all that doesn't give any meaning when I just mention it as a single integer or as a single character. But when I give some meaning for the data, the raw fact, then it is going to be associated with a label like ID is equal to 10 or name is equal to RAM. So then it is going to be information. So the raw fact can be given some label and it can be converted into a information. So then I collect all this kind of information, some collection of meaningful, and if there is any interrelation between this information, then I call that as a database. For example, let me say a student table. A student table has student ID and student name and student marks, student subjects. So all this information in the particular table is something related, right? So all the collection of related information is going to be put inside a table for maintaining the student information. Okay. Similarly, let me say a department has a student database and a faculty database and a course database. All this are going to be interrelated, containing information about a particular department in a university. Then all this has some interrelation information, right? All these are interrelated with each other. Then that collection of some meaningful interrelated information is called as a database. So practical examples of real databases are DB2, Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, and etc. So we just saw an introduction on what is data, what is information, and what is a database. So what is database management systems? So database management systems are software systems which is used to store, retrieve, and run queries on data, which is stored on a database. So you can store data, you can retrieve the data back again from the database, and also you can query on the data and fetch the data. So it is acting as an interface between the end user, that is the user, the client, and the database. So it allows users to do all this operation. They can read, they can create a database, they can update the data, they can delete the data. And also with the help of database, since we are organizing all the data in a particular format or in a structure, it helps us to, it helps or improves the security and also provides data integrity, concurrency, and all the data administration procedures are much easier when we store that in a proper structured format, and we are able to maintain that using a particular software like database software systems. So what is file processing or management system? It is also a DBMS that allows access to single files or tables at a time. Whereas database regular database management systems, we can access or allows access to multiple files by multiple users. Concurrency is allowed. Whereas in file processing, single files or tables at a time. So data is directly stored in set of files. So that's called as a file system. And also it contains flat files. That is, it has no relation with each other. So there is no interrelation of information, and when only one table is stored in a single file. So that's why it is called as a flat file system. So we have more limitations on file processing system. That is a traditional system that was earlier available, and we had data redundancy, that is repeated informations were available, and we are not able to maintain the consistency of data in the various places or locations where the data were stored in different files. Let us assume a single structure or a table is maintained in different files, and we are all able to maintain the consistency of the data. If I update one information in one particular structure, I'm not table, I'm not able to update the similar data on the other structure or on the other file. So this inconsistency of data is available in file processing system, data isolation, and that is there is there is more dependency on application programs and atomicity, and we are not able to provide security. So these common limitations of file processing system. So to overcome all these drawbacks with respect to file processing system, DBMS was introduced over file processing system, and we have the listed advantages over there. So redundancy of data is reduced, and data consistency and integrity is maintained, and concurrency of that is allowing multiple users to access at a time. It's possible, and we're able to provide security and privacy for the data. So sensitive data, we can provide privacy, and also easily accessible. We're able to fetch it, and also if there is any failure to the database systems, we're able to recover the data, and also the more flexible with respect to access, fetching, and storing. So we have more advantages of DBMS over file system. So let us say what is the need for DBMS? So it is actually developed to deal huge amount of data. For smaller amount of data, file systems are fine, but it is actually the intention of developing on the need for database management system arises to deal with huge amount of data. Also, it can store and retrieve for data processing in an effective manner. That's why we go for DBMS. So why we use DBMS? So you can see the list of needs or the requirements. Why to go for DBMS? To develop software applications in less time. Yes. Data independence. There is data and the application programs are not much of dependency is there. Data is isolated and data independence is available, and efficient use of data. Data administration is uniform. Data integrity and security we're able to achieve, and concurrent access is possible. Data recovery is possible, and also more user-friendly declarative query languages can be used, like structured query language, SQLs are used, and DDL, DML commands are used to access the database effectively. So we can see the various domains where the DBMS applications are pertaining, like banking applications. We can manage customer information, account information, payment information. In transportation, we're able to schedule the planning and reservations. So like this, you can see various domains where the DBMS highly impacts the requirement, like universities, telecommunication department, finance department, sales department, manufacturing, and so many. So you can see some list of domains listed here where the applications are dominating for the requirement of DBMS. So what is the purpose of database system? So we already saw what is the purpose of or why do we go for database system. Let us see in a sequence or flow, and why do we go actual purpose of DBMS. So we all know what is raw fact, and also what is information. Raw fact is just the raw data, and we associate that with some additional piece of label of information. Then that is data is converted into information, right? So first you need to have some conversion of raw fact into some meaningful information. So for that you need some proper system. So data into information, and then information into knowledge. So informations are converted into knowledge, and slowly knowledge into action. So once I convert data into information, from that information I gain some knowledge, and with the help of knowledge, some action can be done. Okay, so that is the main purpose of DBMS. So it is shown here with a proper flow chart. So data is converted into information, and it is again translated to knowledge and into action, that is the processing. So let us say some sales example. We are able to predict from the knowledge what we gain from the sales information. We are able to predict the action. Let us when to increase the manufacture or when to increase the stock. Since we have predicted, or as we have gathered some knowledge on the data, we are able to put that into action. That is, we increase the stock, or we increase the sales, or to increase the sales we increase the production. So these could be the set of actions or the process that in turn we do with the help of this particular information and knowledge we gathered. So in this section, we have discussed the introduction to DBMS, and then the definition for database management systems, and definitions of file management system, and the drawbacks we had with respect to file management system, and the advantages over file management system and database management system. Comparative study was there, and then we discuss more on why do we go for and the purpose of DBMS, many scenarios, and various applications of DBMS. So thank you.